30th, Tzu Chi volunteers organized a closing ceremony for the Casual program launch in Blue Hills, Haiti. We take a look at how Dongshih Farmers Hospital in Taichung, Taiwan makes Christmas decoration out of recycled medical byproducts. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. Following a series of torrential rains in November, Tzu Chi volunteers in the United States established a Cash for Work program to help those living in Blue Hills, Haiti, clean up their surroundings and a nearby river. After days of collected effort, the community of Blue Hills is finally clean and tidy. Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers organized a closing ceremony to mark the success of the program. We now take you to the closing ceremony to see how the experience has changed both volunteers and local residents.
In Blue Hills, Haiti, Tzu Chi volunteers from the United States and local residents sing and dance together.
Today is to celebrate the end of our Cash for Work program. I really feel that making this trip was worth it, and our efforts were not in vain. When residents see us now, they extend their hands, maybe for a high five, a handshake, or a hug, because we have brought them hope, and they appreciate that.
This gathering inside the small church filled with love and hope is to celebrate the end of Tzu Chi's Cash for Work program.
When Tzu Chi volunteers saw many people who wanted to come participate in the Cash for Work program, they were really touched. So they did their best to provide us with this wonderful job opportunity. They only made $8, but they are so happy, as if they have won the lottery. Just imagine we come from such a wealthy country. Just ask yourself, what kind of daily wage would make an average American satisfied? 80, 800, 8,000, or even $80,000. I have learned so much from them.
A footage of a senior scavenging for recyclables in Port-au-Prince is also shown, which made the residents realize that the PET bottles that can be found littered everywhere can be sold for money and help better their life.
Tzu Chi volunteers have come to help us, but soon they will return to the United States. However, they will come back. I sincerely hope that I can come back more often to do more for the people of Haiti. And it's really for my personal gain, because I want to learn more from them.
In a community without waste disposal service, Tzu Chi's program that helped clean up the streets has brought residents a new sense of purpose and pride. Now residents can say, I live at Blue Hills, proudly.
In Canada, Tzu Chi volunteers from the Mississauga area were invited by Global Medic to help pack a total of some 4,000 Ebola medical kits headed for Sierra Leone and Liberia. The individual kits included protective clothing, disinfectant wipes, and other essential gears. Let's take a look.
这个是第一站吗？
第一个，对。
里面要放多少口罩？10个。
Today we've got Tzu Chi volunteers and Global Medic volunteers who have come together to pack household Ebola kits. So what are in these kits are items that are going to help protect people and help save the lives of families that are affected and threatened by the Ebola virus.
这个是那个保护衣嘛，它分我们一个袋子里面有10个，然后我们要分5个。
So what we're doing today is loading 2 separate sea freight containers, 40-foot containers each, with 2,000 kits dedicated for Liberia and 2,000 kits dedicated for Sierra Leone. So in total, 4,000 families will benefit from this.
In Johor Bahru, Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers recently gave 70-year-old care recipient Cho Ya Lian's house a makeover. Cho is 6 and thus she doesn't have the energy to tend to her household chores. As Cho's daughter is getting married next month, the senior worried that her rundown home would embarrass her daughter. Upon receiving the news, Tzu Chi volunteers mobilized to help. In just 7 days, Cho's home has transformed from a rundown home into one that is clean and safe to live in.
I think the roof is broken, but I am not sure. I can't tell what is causing the problem because I can't get up there. Yes, the roof leaks whenever it rains.
Besides the roof that leaks whenever it rains, the water pipe under the kitchen sink leaks too. Homeowner Cho Ya Lian is in need of help.
We will need people to take care of the electrical work, the paint job, and to make the hangers.
Tzu Chi volunteers plan to give the house a makeover in 7 days. As 70-year-old Cho Ya Lian's daughter is getting married soon, Cho was worried that her rundown home would embarrass her daughter. After thorough planning, the volunteers have returned ready to work some magic. Some volunteers are experts in electrical work. Some are good at doing household chores. Others are good at painting walls.
Everyone here is filled with a heart of gratitude. We are grateful to have the chance to contribute. Seeing the homeowners happy makes us happy too. It is our duty as Tzu Chi volunteers to give. Thank you for renovating my house. My daughter can finally get married in this beautiful house and enjoy the new year. I'm extremely happy.
All of us feel blessed to have the ability to help.
Now with a clean and safe place to call home, Cho Ya Lian is finally at ease. In the years to come, Tzu Chi volunteers in Malaysia will continue to lend a helping hand to those in greater need. Helping impoverished students with their educational pursuit has always been one of the 4 fundamental missions at Tzu Chi. In Singapore, Tzu Chi Scholarship Aid not only gives students the means to follow their dreams, but also teaches them that giving back to others is always the most rewarding. Meanwhile, in Vietnam, Tzu Chi handed out new shoe scholarships to 261 students in 2 districts in Binh Duong province. Here's more.
In Vietnam's Binh Duong province, Tzu Chi volunteers hold scholarship award ceremonies for poor yet deserving students.
There are Tzu Chi volunteers in many countries, including Vietnam, where volunteers selflessly help and bring comfort to the impoverished. Many people also reach out to Tzu Chi on their own, hoping to receive comfort and a warm hug.
In total, 261 new shoot scholarships give 261 students the opportunity to continue their schooling. We are scared of not having money because then we won't be able to go to school. Tzu Chi's assistance isn't just material support, but also includes spiritual support. We can now attend school without worry and follow our dreams. Volunteers also teach the children the importance of giving back to society. Thus, each student donates to their bamboo coin bank to help the less fortunate. Meanwhile, in Singapore, these scholarship recipients have also learned that giving to others is the best way to pay Tzu Chi's love forward.
整理那些plastic bottle 的。什么都要 try 看啊，这你不学你也不知道你什么会做，什么不会做。
Scholarship recipient Jin Jianming and his mother have been doing recycling for 3 years now. Previous to him winning financial aid from Tzu Chi, Jian would only eat breakfast and dinner to save money. Your mother always tells me how great you are. She says you're a wonderful child. With a deep connection formed, Tzu Chi volunteer Lin Huizhen meets up with Jen and his mother every month at the recycling station.
I'm friendly.
She's friendly and takes good care of me.
Every time I visit them, I share some Jingsi aphorisms. I want them to have positive and compassionate thoughts. I hope these words of wisdom can help them throughout their life. Another student who frequents the recycling station with her mother is Tzu Chi. I do my homework on Friday and Saturday. Then on Sunday, I will have time to go do recycling. Collectively, everyone works together to help. I'm really thankful for the Tzu Chi volunteers. Thanks to these moments, the baton of love and compassion of the Tzu Chi volunteers is passed on to these young students.
As we have reported in the past, on average, an anesthesiologist in Taiwan has to be in charge of 4 surgeries simultaneously. But then who will be left in charge to help monitor a patient's vitals once the anesthesiologist is called elsewhere? This is when a nurse anesthetist comes in. He or she will help do the job of the absent anesthesiologist and is an integral part of surgical team. We now tell you more about the job.
Once a patient is sedated, due to the changes in stomach pressure and also because the patient is lying down, if there is food and liquid in the patient's stomach, they will backflow. As the patient is unconscious and therefore unable to vomit on his or her own, the food matter might flow into the trachea, which will lead to aspiration pneumonia. When that happens, the patient will often end up in the ICU or possibly even die from the condition. During a tumor removal surgery at Darling Tzu Chi Hospital, suddenly things go wrong. The patient had nearly lost 2 liters of blood. We kept resupplying fluid and blood, but the patient was simply losing more than what we could resupply. The patient's blood pressure just flatlined. We had to ask the chief surgeon to stop and let us stabilize the patient first. Anything can happen during surgery. Thus, the accompanying anesthesiologist and nurse anesthetist must help keep the patient in stable condition for the chief surgeon to operate. In Europe, an anesthesiologist only has to focus on 1 surgery at a time. But in the US, he or she will have to handle 2 surgeries at a time, while in Taiwan, the number climbs to 4 surgeries. This is why a nurse anesthetist is vital.
If something goes wrong during surgery, a nurse anesthetist plays a vital role, as he or she help monitor the patient's vital signs and can notify the surgical team as soon as something goes wrong, so we can act accordingly.
A nurse anesthetist has to work with the surgical team but is left on his or her own when the anesthesiologist is not in the surgery room. Not only does he or she have to constantly monitor the patient's vital signs, he or she must also monitor all injections and catheter connected to the patient. At first, I thought working in the anesthesiology department meant simply hooking up an IV, recording the patient's vitals from a monitor, and that was it. But once I started working, I then realized there are so many different injections and procedures that I have to keep track of and know how to perform. Each anesthesiologist also has his or her own habits, and the pressure can come from both the surgery and the surgical team. Perhaps the chief surgeon may not realize that the patient is losing too much blood, so we will have to remind him. So during an entire surgery, we will go back and forth constantly. The blood pressure is getting too low. Raise the blood pressure then. Adding to the complexity of the job, the amount of sedatives to administer is dependent on the age, height, weight, and sex of the patient. But thanks to the hard work of anesthesiologists and nurse anesthetists, patients can undergo surgery soundly and wake up safely.
Prior to the Christmas holidays, medical staff at the Darling Tzu Chi Hospital in Taiwan organized an event for patients staying at the palliative care ward. Besides offering words of encouragement, medical personnel also gifted each patient with a present. To spread the joy of the holiday season, the wife of a doctor even made gingerbread houses for patients. Meanwhile, in the Dominican Republic, Tzu Chi volunteers brought the joy of the holiday season to the Tzu Chi La Romana School, a center that cares for children with AIDS, as well as a local nursing home. Let's take a look. To bring the joy of the holiday season to residents living here at a nursing home in the Dominican Republic, Tzu Chi volunteers and children are here to showcase their talents.
Right now, I feel like a queen or a billionaire. Tzu Chi volunteers came here to care for us. The volunteers gave us warm hugs and even provided us with delicious meals.
The Tzu Chi volunteers also invited members of a local church choir to sing some Caribbean folk songs to light up the atmosphere.
I know that the Tzu Chi Foundation established the Tzu Chi La Romana School following Hurricane Georges in 1998. Since then, the Buddhist NGO has been extending help to the less fortunate here. I'm truly touched by the volunteers' dedication.
As 95% of the population in the Dominican Republic is Catholic, the volunteers hand out apples, which symbolize peace, love, and hope to those studying at the Tzu Chi La Romana school.
I will give the apple to my mother. I want to thank the Tzu Chi volunteers for providing us with so much love and for giving us these apples.
The volunteers also made it a point to bring the holiday joy to a center that cares for children with AIDS. Thinking of the kids' situation, a volunteer shed tears of sympathy. Meanwhile, at the Darling Tzu Chi Hospital in Taiwan, Dr. Kong Muar slips into a Santa Claus costume. Next, Kong and medical staff visit patients staying at the palliative care ward with gifts.
At first, I felt a bit awkward. After visiting patients door to door, I have realized that we have lightened up the atmosphere of the hospital. It is great that everyone had the chance to experience this holiday joy. I was really moved.
Every gift and cake is embedded with the blessings and love of medical personnel. The wife of one doctor even made a point to make gingerbread houses for the patients.
Christmas is a time of blessings and warmth. I hope to provide patients and medical staff with a sense of warmth. Although the patients are suffering from illness, I hope to remind them that there are still people who care about them.
Thanks to this event, patients feel happier and more relaxed. I just asked her if she feels happy, and she said yes.
Offering gifts and warm hugs, medical personnel have filled this palliative ward with the joy of the Christmas season. In Taichung's Dongshih, one hospital's medical staff thought to celebrate the festive season with an eco-friendly twist. Instead of purchasing decorations, the hospital's employees got together to craft trees, reindeer, and other holiday symbols out of secondhand items or recycled medical byproducts. These fun yet different decorations definitely attracted the attention of both patients and passers-by.
Christmas trees made out of IV bags and plastic bottles is how one hospital in Taichung, Taiwan, thought to celebrate the holiday. We try to use recycled materials. This way, when it's over, we can still recycle them. Cardboard boxes turned into gingerbread men, while secondhand fabrics become Frosty the Snowman.
These are made from cardboard boxes. These are empty penicillin containers that we washed out and added some colored water too.
On every floor and every corner, the festive atmosphere and hard work of medical staff can be felt and seen. In having a Merry Christmas, handcrafted eco-friendly decorations not only save money but also help reduce waste.
In 2005, Tzu Chi Foundation launched a project to help seniors suffering from cataracts in China's Jiangsu province to receive surgery, with a total of 11,360 cases thus far. And just this year alone, more than 800 seniors have benefited from Tzu Chi's assistance. Recently, volunteers returned to Jiangsu once again to see how the seniors are recovering after their surgery.
For these seniors, nothing is more precious than the gift of sight. In 2005, Tzu Chi Foundation launched a project to help seniors suffering from cataract. To date, more than 10,000 cataract patients have received surgery and their vision returned to normal. After regaining their vision, these seniors hope to meet the kind-hearted people who made it all possible. Able to see the world again, these seniors dance and their faces light up with joy. Seeing how these grandmas and grandpas' lives have changed now that they have regained their sight, we Tzu Chi volunteers are so moved and touched. Great love truly has no boundaries and transcends all borders. Tzu Chi's great love, which knows no boundaries, has truly brightened these seniors' lives and warmed their hearts as well.
The Tzu Chi Muar branch in Malaysia recently held 2 year-end blessing ceremonies with a total of 1,681 people attending. Given to those who brought bamboo banks to donate were also 300 blessing charms made by volunteer Cho Mei Lee in honor of her ill mother who couldn't make it to this year's event. Here's more.
It's a packed house here at the Year-end Blessing Ceremony hosted by the Tzu Chi Muar branch. Attendees and volunteers alike donate a bit of their love and receive a small blessing in return.
These peace charms filled with rice are used to thank all those who brought their bamboo banks here today. As I made them at home, I prayed that my mother would get better soon. I wanted to offer my blessings to everyone donating their love.
During the event, volunteers share their experiences on the Tzu Chi path and encourage everyone to not give up in the face of hardship.
It has been difficult raising my child. After today, however, I can see it as a challenge that can be overcome and a time that I should treasure. I just prayed for peace for Malaysia. More happy in Malaysia, more appreciate life in our country.
Especially sentiasa harmoni. So kita sepatutnya.
At the end of the day, attendees take home the red envelopes of wisdom and blessing to remind them of the wisdom they learned and the blessings they received here on this special day.
We go to the Philippines at the end of the show as 2014 is coming to an end. Tzu Chi volunteers organized 4 rice distributions in Quezon City, helping a total of 2,575 underprivileged households. Besides handing out rice to needy families, volunteers also conducted home visitations to better understand residents' living conditions. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.